My name is Richard Doobie, and I'm a candidate running for a seat on the Select Board. I would like to thank FCTV for affording the candidates the opportunity to make these presentations, allowing the citizens of Falmouth an opportunity to get to know us. I first came to this area in 1963 to attend Northeastern University. I didn't complete my education at Northeastern, but in 1966 chose instead to accept an invitation by the U.S. Army to extensively tour Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. I returned to the States in California, where I accepted a position creating dance hall posters. Needless to say, this was not to be a career, so in 1969, I returned to New York and started work as an apprentice in a graphic design studio, and began my career in the graphic arts, which lasted over 35 years. I grew a one-man business into a medium-sized graphic design firm. I sold my interest in the business and moved to Nantucket for approximately 6 years, opening an antique store specializing in French antiquities. I split my time between that island and Ile-Saint-Louis in Paris. It was during my time on Nantucket that I met my wife, Penny. Penny is the reason I moved to Falmouth, and Falmouth is one of the many gifts that she has given me. We have lived in Falmouth for approximately 19 years. It was about 12 years ago that I decided this community had given me so much that I had an obligation to give something back. I joined the Osprey Project, tracking and photographing birds as they repopulated the Cape. At the same time, I was part of the mammal stranding team. I was also part of the team that organized and carried out the Falmouth gun buyback. With the cooperation of the Falmouth Police Department, we took about 100 weapons from homes in and around Falmouth, and in return gave those owners of those firearms gift cards for local food stores, and destroyed the weapons. The buyback was so successful that those of us that organized it decided to formalize the group, and the Falmouth Gun Safety Coalition was formed. We filed for and received 501c3 status, and I was elected the first president of the group. I have testified before state committees on Beacon Hill and numerous times before our select board on this issue. I feel my leadership in this field was instrumental in our town manager Michael Renshaw's recent decision to have the police department's surplus shotguns destroyed as opposed to being traded in and recirculated. I am in my third year of being an elected member of town meeting. Why am I running for select board? I feel that we are in dire need of new perspectives on some of our pressing issues. Affordable housing, our septic and sewer system top the list. I find the general image of affordable housing to be somewhat problematic. Issues of traffic, neighborhood impacts, sewage are all viable concerns. But the view that inhabitants of affordable housing are less than desirable as Cape neighbors is not only morally wrong, it is also factually incorrect. The people who will occupy affordable housing are exactly the people we need to ensure a healthy and stable future for Falmouth. Not only police officers, nurses, and fire department personnel, but also plumbers, electricians, carpenters, teachers. It makes no sense to have these people donate their talents to other communities while only working in Falmouth. We need them to become part of the fabric of Falmouth society. Completion of sewage lines and corresponding upgrades to our wastewater treatment facility are mandatory, or the installation of next-gen systems may become a requirement to meet state standards. I believe the next select board member must be one who looks at fact-based solutions, not simply offer opinions. My entrepreneurial history is based on decisions made through tireless pursuit of facts. I would like to apply that history to the problems facing Falmouth. I hope you will give me that opportunity by giving me your vote. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Heather Goldstone. I'm an independent problem solver running for Select Board to work for Falmouth's future. We live in a beautiful place and a very special community. But right now, many of us are concerned about where we are and where we're headed. Our town is facing multiple crises: attainable housing, water quality, coastal resilience. These are big, thorny issues that we've been grappling with for decades. And in some cases, we've lost sight of important work we've already done. To put these crises behind us requires a balance of long-term vision and immediate action, with a healthy dose of curiosity and creativity along the way. We need to be proactive about creating diverse, attainable, and desirable housing options so that those who would work and learn here can live and thrive here. That means thinking outside the box, being open to revisiting things like height and density restrictions, seeking and seizing redevelopment opportunities, and engaging in public-private partnerships. As we do that, we have to ensure that we protect and restore our precious ponds and bays. That means aggressively pursuing an all-of-the-above strategy that targets the right approaches to the right locations to reduce the flow of nutrients and other wastewater contaminants into sensitive ecosystems as quickly as possible. And when it comes to our coastlines, we need to think long-term and have some hard conversations about how we invest and what and how we protect, remembering that what makes Falmouth great is not holding a particular shoreline, but having healthy beaches and strong infrastructure that all can enjoy. This is a big task, but Falmouth has what it takes to confront these challenges. We have an amazing resource in our science community, not to mention the many who have joined our community after illustrious careers and brought their experience and expertise with them. We have terrific, dedicated town staff and an unmatched spirit of volunteerism. We also have some strong leadership on our select board, but we're losing an important voice in Angela Scott Price. I'm proud to have Angie's endorsement. I would bring a unique perspective and skill set to our select board and the work at hand. I'm a working mother of 3 children in Falmouth Public Schools. That means I'm acutely aware of what's at stake. I am held accountable to our future every morning at the breakfast table, and I would be honored to represent Falmouth families. With a PhD from our very own Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and having spent more than a decade as a local public radio journalist, I have a base of knowledge about our region's issues, and I am not afraid to get into the data and the complexities. And finally, as a longtime radio interviewer and trained facilitator, I know how to bring in different perspectives and ask the questions that get to the heart of the matter, that reveal connections, open up opportunities, and move important conversations forward. I came to Falmouth straight out of college, and I have never left. It is the home my husband and I have chosen, and the only home my children have known. And I care deeply about our community. I don't just want Falmouth to be nice, I want it to be thriving, diverse, and resilient. Over the past 20 years, I've served Falmouth through my journalism, volunteer leadership in multiple school PTOs and family-oriented nonprofits, and most recently as an elected member of the school committee. Now, I'm excited to bring all of my passion and experience to bear on Falmouth's Select Board. With multiple early voting opportunities before Election Day, I hope I'll have your vote on or before May 21st. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Tom Zine, and I'm running for Select Board. And I'm grateful to have this opportunity to talk about who I am and what my goals are. I first fell in love with Falmouth as a teenager, and then I raised my family here. I served my country in the Army as a paratrooper and a helicopter pilot. I also worked in law enforcement at both the state and local levels. I was a homicide investigator attached to the district attorney's office, where I worked with a dedicated team of professionals, always seeking justice for the victim's family. Locally, I serve on the Recreation Committee, Pickleball Working Group, coalition called Save Sandwich Road Now, AMVETS Board, and I coached sports for 30 years, having the opportunity to get to know thousands of local residents. I'm a new member of the 300 Committee. Recently, I was part of a team that worked on a Rights of Nature resolution that was accepted by our Select Board on Monday, April 22nd, 2024. Moving forward, these are my 5 goals that I believe are critical for Falmouth. Number 1, affordable and workforce housing, because we're losing our next generation who can't afford to live here. I read our housing production plan and understand the construction business, and I have some ideas to share. Number 2, water quality. It's a precious commodity, and we need to continue testing and protecting our aquifer. Number 3, public safety. Our first responders need a new police station. They take care of us, and it's time for us to take care of them. Number 4, coastal resiliency is important because we are losing our beaches at an accelerated rate from these southern storms. Previously, I was a member of a nonprofit organization for 2 years dealing with beach erosion. I can see the ripple effect these storms will have on our beaches, roads, coastal homes, tax revenue, tourism, and local businesses. And number 5, infrastructure. we need to continue expanding our sewer system. I continue to make myself better every day. I'm attending as many board and committee meetings as I can. I'm also meeting and having great conversations with our local residents at our coffee shops, listening to their ideas. If elected, this is how I see my role on the select board. Talk to the public, listen to our experts, don't micromanage, and then make an informed decision. It's simple and effective. I have a proven track record working this way and always getting results. I'm a man of the people, and I'll always find common sense solutions. I'll close with this. Serving on Falmouth's Select Board allows me to continue giving back to the town that I love. And I would be truly honored if on May 21st, you get in line and vote for Zine. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Glenda Cohen, and I'm running for a seat on the Falmouth School Committee. I've spent more than 20 years as a Massachusetts educator, 17 of which were as a high school English and ESL teacher. I still work in education, developing literacy programs for K-12 students. I believe in public education. Not only was I a public school teacher, but all three of my children are products of public schools. I couldn't be more proud of them or of our communities throughout the Commonwealth that have made our state schools among the best in the nation. Our schools educate all children, free of charge, no matter what their needs. Our schools prepare the citizens of the future. I believe in the common good, which means that each of us must do what we can to improve our community. I decided to run for the Falmouth School Committee to use my experience to do just that. I want to help make a strong Falmouth school system stronger. I want to help the district meet the challenges of today and tomorrow. And there's no doubt that these are challenging times for schools, students, and parents. We are still dealing with the consequences of 2 years of pandemic isolation. Concerns over school safety, learning distraction because of tech devices, and absenteeism are some of the real and legitimate concerns of parents. Tackling these problems requires commitment from school districts, leadership, and dedicated school committee members. If elected to the school committee, I will work to provide the district with resources needed to close post-pandemic learning gaps, both academic and social-emotional. I will stand by educators and empower their voices because they are the backbone of public schools. And I will work to support funding for extracurricular activities which provide opportunities for achievement and growth for all students. I feel that it's important not simply to ask for your vote, but to earn your vote. To that end, I've attended precinct meetings, school committee meetings, and met with parents and community members. So I hope my efforts, along with my background as a longtime public school educator, show you that I am well prepared and enthusiastic to serve our Falmouth Clippers on the school committee. I ask for your vote on May 21st. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris Matthews, and I am a candidate for Falmouth School Committee. I was born and raised in Falmouth, Massachusetts. My wife and 2 daughters are also Falmouth natives. We as a family have gone through Falmouth Public School System, with my wife and daughter now both working in the Falmouth Public Schools. I am the business owner of Chris Matthews Carpentry and Property Maintenance. As both a parent and an alumni of Falmouth Public Schools, it's always been my mission to give back to my community. For years, I have volunteered within the school system to meet this mission. I've revived and maintained the Falmouth girls field hockey and lacrosse fields on and off season. I've DJ'd multiple school dances and events. I was president of East Falmouth Elementary School PTO for 3 consecutive years. All of this has amounted to me being awarded the VIPS Volunteer of the Year in 2017. I am forever grateful for this award, and it has encouraged me to continue giving back to the school system my family grew up in. Currently, I am staying involved in the district by volunteering on school field trips, in the classroom, and at school events. A few examples of my involvement are the National Seashore Field Trip, the Morse Pond Monster Dance, and the Lawrence School Play. By running for school committee, I am hoping to obtain a position where I can have more of an impact on giving back to the students, staff, and families in the Falmouth Public Schools. Thank you.
My name is Katrina Nevan, and I am running for school committee. I grew up just a few miles away from here on Martha's Vineyard and moved here with my husband right before the pandemic began. This town is the only place my children have ever known as a home, and in the last 4 years, we have all grown to love this community. Shortly after moving here, I joined the board of a local nonprofit called Farming Falmouth. It was the summer of 2020, and COVID was creating a national and local food security crisis. In response, I created Farming Falmouth's volunteer gleaning program to harvest excess food crops from local farms and donate them directly to Falmouth's Service Center Food Pantry. Over the last 4 years, we have harvested more than 10,000 pounds of fresh local vegetables and delivered them to some of Falmouth's most vulnerable households. I want to run for school committee because my daughter is about to enter first grade and my son is going into preschool. As they both start their learning educational journey, I know that I'll be interacting with the school systems on a daily basis, and I would like to be involved from the very beginning with the work of building up our schools. If elected, my top priority would be to make use of existing local, state, and federal grant money, as well as partnering with nonprofits, private foundations, and local businesses to create a garden-based curriculum for every grade at every school. Research shows that outdoor learning improves student behavior and academic performance. I envision a future where every school has a garden and a greenhouse classroom, and every student at every school has access to them. There are some successful examples, many successful examples across the Cape and Islands of programs just like this. You might have heard of Truro's Farmer in the School program, which began in Truro but has since expanded to 3 other towns. Here in Falmouth, our high school has a brand new amazing garden curriculum created by the local Food Justice Initiative. The school committee approved the funding for that new teaching position 2 years ago, so we don't need to start from scratch. But it would help if the school committee got on board and started steering the ship. I also have a background in theater and education and community theater and the arts. I used to sit on the board of an organization that ran children's after school and summer camp programming. And I also taught schools in the violin in the schools, in elementary schools, which gave me a teacher's perspective of how valuable and rewarding a diverse arts education really can be for students. Expanding and enhancing the Falmouth School District arts programming is a priority for me. I am very motivated to make positive contributions, and I'm not embarrassed to ask important questions that might seem foolish or obvious. I am willing to ask, why are things done this way, and to have a fresh perspective on the whole system. With 2 small children in the schools, I'll be able every day to talk to fellow parents and children and their teachers. I'm invested in making sure that every student in Falmouth has increased learning opportunities, and I'm bubbling over with ideas and enthusiasm. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Welch, candidate for re-election to the Falmouth School Committee. I truly believe that the schools in Falmouth are fabulous and provide incredible opportunities for our kids from the moment they start kindergarten until they turn their tassels at graduation. For the last 14 years, I've been a proud Clipper parent, with both my children attending Falmouth Public Schools. During that time, our teachers have been experienced, knowledgeable, creative, and kind. And our buildings have been beautiful, well-equipped, and lovingly cared for. I know now firsthand that when our kids come back from college, they comment on how well prepared they were for their college classes. And I'm certain the same is true for those who choose a trade, the military, or a career path. I've been honored to be part of such a district as a school committee member for the past 10 years and serve as chair or vice chair for 7 of those years. I hope to be able to continue to serve, because even though I've been doing this a while, I still have fresh ideas about where we should be going and how we should get there. So please mark your calendar and make a plan to vote on Tuesday, May 21st. Life is so busy and it can be easy to forget. And if you have a student in your life, maybe take them with you. Part of the Falmouth Public Schools mission is for students to engage with their community as socially responsible citizens, and voting is a part of that. Who knows, maybe you'll spark their interest and they'll eventually run to fill my seat at the table. Thanks so much.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Harris. I serve on the planning board, and right now I am the chair of the planning board. It's a 7-member board. I think that we're a very, very good team. We've been together a long time, and we're glad we're going to have an opportunity through this election cycle to stay together. So rather than trying to talk you into voting for me, which I'd be happy if you did, you don't need to, I'm running unopposed, I'd like to tell you instead what the planning board has been doing and is planning to do. We are, as it says, planning. We did the planning that was behind getting Falmouth's multifamily bylaw passed, Mr. Cod, mixed residential and commercial, so that you could have stores below and you could have apartments above. We're trying to build up the rental apartment portfolio that the town has available. We're very, very short and getting shorter on rentals. And one reason we're getting shorter on them is that too many people are converting what used to be long-term rentals into short-term rentals. Airbnb, VRBO, there are a number of platforms, so-called, and now it's estimated that while there are only a little over 1,000 registered with the state, which they're all supposed to be, in fact, there are probably closer to 4,000 short-term rentals here in Falmouth. And when you think that we have only 21,000 houses in Falmouth, that's far too many. So there's a working group now taking testimony, what's the best way to regulate around short-term rentals so that they will not be a nuisance in neighborhoods and they will not be taking and diminishing our supply of rental housing. It's a big problem here in town. The other thing that the planning board is working on now, and works on actually on a regular basis, is revising our current bylaws. As we use them, we discover, and as times change, we discover that they fall out of use and need to be updated. And we're working on that on a regular basis. We have consultants that help us. The ZBA, the planning board, the building departments, everyone who's involved in implementing and enforcing the bylaws is working on that project, and it needs ongoing work. We welcome public input into our planning, so that when you see we're having a public hearing, either for a project that's come to the planning board for site plan review, or because we're having public hearings for one of our projects, like the short-term rental project, please come. We welcome your ideas. We want to hear from you. It really helps us have better bylaws if we get more input. So for those of you who came already to a public hearing, thank you. For you who might have input for short-term rental housing, please come and participate in that. So that's all I have to say. I hope that you do vote on May 21st, that you vote for me and Bob Leary on the planning board, but you vote for others. I think Falmouth is a well-run town, and for that you deserve a lot of credit in the people that you have chosen by voting for them. Thank you.